All right. If you're unfamiliar with our live sessions, we leave this open for as kind of a open Q&A. If you're watching after the fact recording, feel free. You can still submit questions on these posts for the next week's, or I always post a story with a countdown on Tuesdays, and you can submit your questions through there as well. Give a moment for everyone to get up here. We did have a couple early questions submitted from the story here. All right, so we've got one asks how to increase mass while maintaining energy throughout the day. So I'm not 100% sure on what element they mean there. I'm going to assume that it means that they're trying to eat more to put on muscle mass, but they're getting too lethargic from what they're eating. If that's the case, some of the things to look at would be you got to experiment a little bit with which foods you're having. Everyone responds a little bit differently. You'll notice and you'll probably have to journal in order to kind of see what the results are, but you'll probably notice a trend of certain foods causing you to feel either sluggish or tired more than other foods. Another factor of that is if you're trying to have just a handful of really large meals during the day, that's more than likely going to cause more tiredness after those types of meals, and you might have to um, break it down and spread it more throughout the day. That way, you're never getting overloaded with one large meal just kind of weighing you down. If it's energy in the sense where you're trying to put on mass and you're training super intensely, um, a lot of that again comes down to experimenting with what foods help kind of energize you post workout. Um, Best approach with that is post about first 30-60 minutes post workout having something light with protein and easier to digest carbohydrates. So like um, juice, fruits, things that aren't just the one time where you're not looking for complex carbohydrates, basically. And then about after that, 1 to 2 hours after that meal or snack, you would have something a little bit more wholesome and full. And that usually helps kind of reset and rebalance. But again, being um, cognizant of the size of the meals that cause you to be lethargic, and then what foods tend to bring your energy down versus up. Everyone's got different reactions and sensitivities with that. Some people need more carbohydrates to be energized, other people need less just because they're too sensitive to them. So play around with not just what types of foods, but the amounts of portions that you're having. If you're noticing that meals that have a large amount of protein and very little carbs and fats are kind of weighing you down, adjust the ratios, bring the protein down just a little bit, get a little bit more of a carb in, see how your energy does with that. Um, and vice versa, if you're noticing that you're having carb heavy meals and they're what's causing you to get sluggish and tired, then we need to adjust that ratio, bringing those down, increasing a little more protein, probably looking at some more fruits and vegetables so your body has more of the optimal nutrients to produce energy. That's another big factor to look at when it comes to being sluggish or tired throughout the day. A lot of times it's just the body's running out of the nutrients that it needs to produce the energy that it would use from your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats that you took in from the meal. Fruits and vegetables are going to be the main thing to look at to kind of maximize and optimize that because they're usually the most nutrient dense foods out there to help support that. I hope that answered that question for you. If not, feel free to submit more follow-up questions. We'll expand upon it next time for you. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments. Let me know. And if there's just specific subjects and topics that you want to address next week, you can put those in there as well too. So as always, if you're watching this later and you've got questions that pop up, feel free to throw them in the comments then, or you can message us directly. Until next week, just remember to continue being persistent in your consistent pursuit of health. Have a great week.